Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Staci.
And I'm your co-host, Sarah.
And I think I may have told Sarah this, but not on air, that I have a thing where I get words that start with the same letter confused. So I'll say like electric when I mean eclectic.
Sure.
So our topic today is collagen, but as I kept seeing this, I kept thinking of cellulite.
Okay.
So I was like, why do people want collagen? Isn't collagen bad? Don't we not want collagen?
Isn't that stuff on our thighs?
Right? Why are we all of a sudden all into collagen? No, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
But people do take collagen as a thing. Because
I don't know. Maybe some people take cellulite for... people are weird sometimes.
I wouldn't put that past them. But collagen is actually a protein, which I did not know because I was still thinking of it as cellulite.
Right.
Collagen is actually the most abundant protein in our bodies, and it is found naturally in things like muscles, bones, skin, blood vessels, our digestive system, and our tendons. So, like, all the stuff that keeps us together, kind of.
Right.
Not cellulite.
Well, that's what, all the commercials are, when they talk about, like, I don't know, I just keep thinking of the word elasticity or things like that when they have commercials with lotions and moisturizers and those types of things. The collagen, they always talk about keeping your skin. I don't know. I got nothing.
I see, continuing with I think of words differently. You said elasticity. I thought of electricity and that one thing they did about electricity in Schoolhouse Rock.
Electricity. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. I apologize.
It's all good. I'm sorry I sang.
Sorry. So it's been found that collagen-related diseases are most commonly from a combination of either genetic defects, poor intake of collagen-rich foods, nutritional deficiencies, and digestive problems affecting the production of collagen, which, again, this all throws me off because I cannot think of it except as like cottage cheese thighs.
Wait, so what are collagen-based diseases? I mean, I clearly know nothing about collagen.
I don't either. But it's one of those things that how do I say this? You do want, it's not cellulite, but that you can... I'm almost thinking of it as like the skin version of diabetes, which is terrible because diabetes itself affects skin. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of it as the diabetes of diabetes. I don't know. I'm off. My brain is clearly somewhere strange. But the point is, we do produce it ourselves, but we don't often produce enough. Some people. Okay. So since it is in all those things like your bones and muscles and tendons, you do want to have enough, not just for the... how do I say, appearance stuff? Mm-hmm. Although that is, again, as you said, what most people think of it in products as, because increasing collagen levels can help your skin look firmer and increase smoothness and help your skin cells keep renewing and repairing normally, and actually, interestingly, help reduce cellulite because your skin is more elastic and so it doesn't stretch that same way over cellulite. It stretches better. I don't quite know how to say that properly.
Okay.
But you know what I mean. It stretches in a non-cellulite enhancing way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Okay.
But also can reduce joint pain and degeneration.
Oh, which are good.
Yes.
Maybe that's
why you're...
I'm trying to think of the things that, there's always there's always things to buy for like joint pain and those types of things, the more holistic things. Am I thinking of collagen or am I thinking of something else? I think I'm thinking of something else.
It probably starts with a C.
But I can't think of what it is, so that's not helpful.
Yes. But as we get older, our collagen production does decrease, so that is partially why you get, older people with arthritis or joint pain. But the biggest digestive benefit of consuming collagen is that it helps form connective tissue and therefore helps. There's evidently a thing called leaky gut, which I've heard of, but I've never experienced. So it sounds like a strange. Your stomach is a strange pirate ship.
I just think of, when you don't want things leaking in that area, especially that can lead to all kinds of terrible infections. So that sounds really bad.
Well, now I'm just thinking of like drug mules. Really off, but leaking in your body. Because I never thought of anything leaking in my body. Aren't all my organs the way they're supposed to be? But evidently there is such a thing as leaky gut that does not have anything to do with drugs. It just happens.
Well, I just know you have to be really careful, if you have like anything perforated in there, because if like perforated bowel, if you're the things that you're supposed to be expelling when you use the bathroom can get in there and cause major infection. I've never heard of exactly leaky gut, but you just don't want anything leaking in there from everything that I've ever read.
But yeah, collagen helps a number of things with the digestive system because the amino acids in collagen build the tissue that lines the colon and GI tract. And supplementing with collagen can help treat gastrointestinal symptoms and disorders, along with leaky gut, IBS, acid reflux, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis.
Okay.
Colitis that has to do with ulcers.
Yeah, ulcerative.
That one. But it can also help with the absorption of water within the intestines, keeping, your intestines flowing properly. So it's just like your whole digestive system and collagen.
So is this something that you should be taking as a supplement? Is it something that you get in your foods? How should we be supplementing or increasing our collagen intake?
We're going to talk about that a little later.
Okay.
Jumping the gun, Sarah.
Sorry.
Just, always trying to think ahead.
I have questions.
How dare you actually be thinking about what I'm talking about? Why are you not just pretending to listen to me while I talk and waiting for your own turn to talk?
I'll stop listening.
Okay. So, along with the making sure everything is sealed and flowing digestive-wise, it can actually help increase your metabolism.
Oh, well, that's always good.
Because it helps add lean muscle mass and helps with the conversion of essential nutrients. And collagen protein is, interestingly, the building block of your fingernails, hair, and teeth.
Okay, now I think I have heard that.
Well, again, I only know about it for the skin. So everything else is sort of like, really?
I think I have read. I mean, I have a friend who is always talking about supplements, so they all kind of blur together after a while.
Right.
But we spend a lot of time in pharmacy aisles at Target or wherever reading supplements, and so it's, there's a lot of things that sound familiar, but I can't always remember why.
Well, I also spend a lot of time in supplement aisles, but that's just because there's multiple versions of a supplement. So even if I'm like, okay, I'm going into the pharmacy for collagen, there's like 4 or 5 different brands of collagen. And so now I need to compare and be like, this one gives me 60 tablets for this price, but this one gives me 30 tablets, but this one has the higher percentage.
Exactly.
And then start doing math in my head to figure out what's the
active
best
ingredient or whatever in this one.
Yeah. Just
I know.
And supplements, unfortunately, aren't terribly regulated.
Right.
So it's like, I have to trust that the people making this product are telling me the truth. And, it really does have 1,000% of vitamin C or whatever. Because you can kind of say what you want. And how am I supposed to test that, this is that potent?
In your home lab, of course.
My home lab.
Your home lab where you take all of your supplements and test them before you take them.
Because I am a mad scientist in the making.
I knew it. I've always suspected this.
Yes, but I won't tell you my secret plan because I am not one of those monologuing villains.
No.
I'm smarter than that.
And it's not time.
It's not time.
We're not to the almost culmination of your evil plan. That's when you tell it all.
Right. We're not there yet, but we are to the point where we're going to take a break so I can fine-tune my evil plan. So we'll be back. Stay tuned.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, where today we're talking about collagen.
And evil plans, but mostly collagen.
Sure. That's part of my evil plan, is to distract you from my evil plan using collagen. So actually,
Sneaky.
again, continuing my, I didn't know anything about collagen, including what actually was collagen. There are actually 16 different types of collagen in the human body.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know there were two.
I didn't know we made it ourselves. Again, I thought it was a byproduct of like a bad diet, so I was all off. So there are numerous types. I'm not going to run through them all, but I will talk about some. Type 1, which is by far the most abundant, and it's also considered to be the strongest. And it's made up of thing I'm really going to mispronounce, eosinophilic. Eosinophilic?
Well, like esophagus, so eosinophilic. Yeah.
It's like we're pronouncing dinosaur names here.
I know!
Those fibers that form things like the tendons, ligaments, organs, and your skin. They also help form bones and can be found in the GI tract. So this thing is all over and is like the great majority of the collagen in your body.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just...
It seems... I don't know why. It just seems slightly strange to me when I read that, because I think of, bones and hair and fingernails, and then it's in the GI tract, and I'm like, wait a minute. That seems counterintuitive. But
I mean, it makes sense because it's very important for wound healing, and I know that your stomach has to keep whatevering itself because the acid eats away.
Right. Regenerating, reforming. Yeah, something.
Relining was in my head. Relining itself.
Yes.
But yeah, so that kind of makes sense together. Collagen healing, stomach healing, all that jazz. There's type 2, which primarily helps build cartilage. Type 3, made of reticular fibers, and is made up in the matrix that makes up our organs and skin. So it's usually found with type 1, and also does the whole elasticity, firmness, skin thing.
Okay.
But it also helps form blood vessels and tissues within the heart. These all sound like... now I'm just picturing my body like stretching, like Elastigirl.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my whole body should be stretching, and it's most definitely not that flexible, so please don't.
I'm just thinking of like a science book for children. Type 1 and type 3 are friends.
Aww.
They work together.
But because type 3 helps form blood vessels, a deficiency in type 3 has been linked to a higher risk for ruptured blood vessels and early death.
And the children's book just took an ugly turn.
Well, some children's books have to deal with that. Like, you have to talk about what is death and what is divorce. And you missed my whole Mr. Rogers
I did.
thing on the movie podcast. But yeah, they talk about that. Those exist even for children.
They do.
Sadly. Mm-hmm. But anyways, type 4 collagen forms basal lamina, which is found in
endothelial.
Thank you. Which form tissue that surrounds organs, muscles, and fat, and is needed for nerve and blood vessel functions. So I get all the stretchiness. Like, those aren't even stretchy, but they just make me think stretchy. Like, I'm now thinking of my nerves stretching, which actually sounds like a terrible thing.
It does sound painful, doesn't it?
But it makes my nerves seem like rubber bands.
Yeah. But gosh, every time we do any of these things, I'm just fascinated by the complexity of the human body. It's amazing.
I mean, like, so what?
There's 16 types of collagen, for crying out loud. Just collagen.
Yeah. I didn't take anatomy, but I probably would have been over my head. With just 16 types of collagen, it's like, what? You want me to learn about how many bones?
Right.
No.
It's just amazing that more, I mean, I don't even know that more things don't go wrong, but that things, no, I mean, just that, because there's so many tiny little details that everything works. So it's amazing when everything does work together. I don't know, I just find it fascinating.
I wanted to say microcosm, but now I'm not sure what microcosm means. But in the same way that the universe is greatly complex, the human body is greatly complex within the greatly complex thing. I don't know words anymore.
Words.
I don't. So anyways, type 5 collagen is needed to make the surface of cells as well as your hair strands and tissue. The tissue found in women's placentas. So guys, you really don't have anything to do with that except for, around when you're born, but that's about it. And then type 10 collagen helps with new bone formation and forming articular cartilage. Words.
Which is very important.
Yes. So there are the numerous types of collagen, but theoretically, we should be making those ourselves, our bodies,
right? With
its really complex system that I'm sure. I feel like my body is the machine that you can break just by like throwing a wrench into the gears.
Oh,
it feels like.
I promise not to throw a wrench or a spanner, depending on what country you're in. I will not throw a wrench.
A what?
A spanner.
A spanner.
Yeah, in England it's a spanner, not a wrench. And in Star Wars, it's a spanner. Han Solo says to Chewie, "Hand me the hydro spanner."
A, Star Wars is a sci-fi film, so he could be making anything up. We have hydro fuel for crying out loud. But B, also, that's one of the strangest, doesn't quite translate from English to American English things. Like, jumper makes more sense than that. Just, wow, yeah, did not know that. Okay.
Spanner. I will not throw a spanner or a wrench into your works. I'll try not to anyway.
Oh, I think... greatly appreciate that. I wanted to say that in a British way, but I didn't know it. So anyways, our body should be making enough collagen, but sometimes doesn't. So then we have to get it in our food, which again, ideally, if you're eating a well-rounded, healthy diet, which is, almost none of us, you would be getting enough collagen in your food just on your everyday thing without having to think about it. But we don't sadly do that. So when it comes to the sources of collagen that we get from our diets, the main ones are foods very high in protein, including beef, chicken, fish, and eggshell membranes.
Eggshell membranes?
Yeah.
Do we eat eggshell membranes?
I could not quite figure that out. I was like, does that mean like I have to boil an egg and it's the skin that comes off when I peel the what is an eggshell? I'm not quite sure. Exactly. And like, what does that have to do? If I eat the whole egg, am I getting eggshell membranes?
I must look it up now.
Because when it continued on with that, it was just like eating eggs. I was like, so I just need to eat eggs?
Well, like everything else in the world, you can get eggshell membrane as a supplement.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
I just want to know what it is.
I now want to know if I can get like a supplement of it. Is there a chicken supplement?
I'm sure there is. They make chicken soup flavored protein powder, which just sounds gross.
I mean, it doesn't. If your protein powder is things you're mixing to make, I mean, so long as you heat it up, if it's cold, then yeah.
I mean, I just tend to think of protein powder more as like chocolate.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man. But now I'm wondering, is there a beef supplement? And what does that entail exactly? And do I need to like keep it in the fridge? Or can I just keep it on my shelf with all my other 20,000 supplements? Strange.
Well, this doesn't tell me what part of it. Oh, wait. Eggshell membrane is the clear film lining an eggshell.
Right.
So pretty much, yeah, that's the piece, the part that I usually peel off when I'm peeling my egg.
So I feel like you must get some part of it if you just like cracked an egg to make like scrambled eggs or something.
Right.
That you must be getting some of that in the, in the yolk and stuff that comes out. But I think also you maybe can get it if you boil an egg, because I remember looking up how to better boil an egg and like, putting it in when the water's boiling or before the water's boiling and putting in maybe, an ice bath afterwards to make it easier to peel and all that jazz. And one of the suggestions was vinegar in the water because it does something with separating the flesh from the membrane. So it seems like in regular boiled eggs,
you aren't separating them. Okay.
So don't use vinegar.
Don't
is
do
what
it.
We're saying. Vinegar is terrible and stinks, and don't use it.
That's what we're getting out of this segment of the podcast.
That is totally not my evil plan.
Just consider you use vinegar for all sorts of things. But yesterday I used it to clean my coffee pot.
Right.
It just seems like you shouldn't use something that you're using to clean your coffee pot and your eggs. But I realize that it is.
But I mean, it's also pickles.
Right, exactly.
And salad dressing. So.
And some people just drink it, apple cider vinegar.
I don't get that one. But what we're really saying is don't use vinegar with eggs. But don't drink apple cider vinegar. And don't eat salad. Yes, that is what the health and wellness podcast is. No, I'm not. I'm being
don't do any of those things.
I am being facetious.
She's being facetious.
So we're going to take a break so I can get back to my serious self and hopefully learn how to speak words. So we'll be back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. We're talking right now with words about how to get more collagen into your body. I guess technically in your diet, because I don't think you can like IV collagen. But
who knows? I mean,
I knew very little about collagen before this episode, so I could be totally wrong on that. The top ways, though, to consume more collagen include making and drinking real bone broth, which I don't cook, so I don't know the difference even between like bone broth and non-bone broth. I mean, I assume one doesn't use bones, but then how do you make it?
Well, if you were to just like throw some stew meat into a pot, you would get broth. Oh. But if you throw bones in there, then you get, the marrow, and there's usually some meat on there, and so you get a different type of broth, different density.
I didn't know you made broth with meat, because don't you eat the meat? Oh yeah, I don't cook. I clearly don't cook.
I mean, you can do it either way, but like often if you like after Thanksgiving, we call it carcass soup in my family, because you carve the turkey and then you take the bones or the carcass and chuck it in, and there's still meat on there, and
my mother planned to do that last Thanksgiving and kept the turkey bones for a while and then never did it and threw them away.
No,
because we're not the best of cooking in our family. Sadly.
It happens.
But you can also use protein powder made from bone broth in recipes. So there you go, chicken
soup. There you go.
Chicken soup protein powder. That's what it's for, is the bone broth.
We have a package of it in the cupboard, and I just haven't been brave enough to try it because I like to mix it with milk, and that just seems gross. Not milk, but almond milk. Well, that just seems really gross.
Just do water. It's
I know.
Summer. You need more water anyways, and it's totally water if you put bone broth in it. It's totally the same.
Sure.
But interestingly, collagen is considered one of the cleanest types of protein powders, and it's usually free from additives that you find in those, strange strawberry shake flavored protein powders.
So you have to look for one that specifically says collagen protein powder?
I think even if you just found one that said bone broth, that should do it. Because I don't know that you could make a bone broth protein powder without collagen in it. Although I also, I'm now thinking of, decollagenizing things. And the way you decaffeinate coffee. But as I don't know how you decaffeinate coffee to begin with, I clearly know very little about collagen in this episode.
And there go my dogs, if you hear those in the background.
They're so much fun.
Yes.
But Sarah, I think you actually found a protein powder.
I did, as I was sighing over my badly behaving dogs, who are usually very, very good until, somebody comes to the door or pulls into the garage.
They even bark at me like they've never met me before.
They love Stacy. They just get so excited. Okay, so we were talking about collagen protein powder, and of course I had to look it up because I look everything up. Mm-hmm. And I just clicked on one that's multi-collagen protein, full of many of the proteins that are the collagens that Stacy talked about.
That's why I talked about them.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. And it's made from beef, chicken, fish, and eggshell membrane. So it's really everything that we've been talking about.
See, I'm psychic. I knew we were going to talk about this, and that's why I talked about it beforehand.
Isn't she amazing?
To give the the relative information.
So it gives it's 9 grams of protein. It mixes instantly, odorless and tasteless, which is good.
Can you mix it with milk?
Sure, because it's odorless and tasteless.
Still weird. Okay.
And it adds collagen boost to any meal.
Awesome.
But it contains eggs and fish, so don't do it if you're allergic to either of those things.
Or, you're completely out of luck if you're a vegetarian.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Or a vegan, all of those ingredients were terrible for you.
Yes.
But anyway.
Oh, wait, there's one that says vegan-free. Or vegan-free. It can't say vegan-free. What did it say? Now I lost it.
All collagen would probably be vegan-free if it's beef, chicken, fish, or egg membrane.
Vegan-free. Now I can't find what I just scrolled over as I was moving the mouse across my screen. Anyway, moving on.
While Sarah's still looking for that, you can also take collagen supplements, as we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And collagen supplements can typically be found as hydrolyzed collagen, which helps form new collagen. And when you hydrolyze collagen peptides become bioavailable.
I have no idea what you just said. I mean, I understood all the words, but when you put them in a sentence, you hydrolyze collagen and it becomes bioavailable? What does that mean?
I feel like I'm in the first Captain America movie. Hail Hydra. I believe that means it's available for your body to use.
Okay, so if you don't hydrolyze it, it doesn't absorb as well, maybe, or something?
Your body has to process it, I guess, before you can do anything with it and make yourself all stretchy and everything.
Elastigirl.
But also, again, eating a well-rounded diet can help actually increase the absorption of the collagen peptide you consume. So I feel like I'm just all sorts of collagen deficient now.
You don't eat a lot of protein?
I mean, I eat a lot of protein, but I don't eat a well-rounded diet. I'm nowhere near a well-rounded diet.
Well, you do like the microwave a lot.
My diet is like a small point in the middle of all types of food. It's a very, very small... It's like Rhode Island on the United States of food.
First we had the food pyramid, then we had the food plate, and now we have Stacy's version of as being Rhode Island on the United States of food.
I so want to see how you would do that for like a food pyramid in the shape, but you'd have to do it in I guess you could do it in all of them with like Alaska being milk and Hawaii being fruit or something.
Maybe.
And then the different states being what have you.
Different levels of what, yeah. So, like Rhode Island would be carbs.
Yep. Sorry, Rhode Island. We don't dislike you.
No.
It's just, compared to California size-wise and compared to all the food available, taste buds-wise, proportionally, they're about the same.
Oh, Stacy, we got to figure out how to get your taste buds happier.
No.
Okay.
But anyways, so when you consume collagen in whatever form, but good luck vegans on that, you can benefit from also consuming vitamin C.
Okay.
To help ensure that your body can convert the collagen into a usable protein.
So kind of like calcium and vitamin D at the same time. It's good to take them together.
See, I've just seen that together on milk so much that in my head they're one thing. That vitamin D is just part of calcium, and this is them just, making ridiculous claims. That's like saying, oh, hey, so in this bottle, I've got water, but I've also got oxygen. It's like, yes, of course you do.
I want to visit the world inside your head sometime because it sounds fun.
Well, if you find a map, let me know because I'm always lost. But anyway, so this can help begin to restore the source of your energy and vitality. And I feel that this is along the lines of what the Hail Hydra collagen is.
Okay.
Of the usable protein Oh, now again, I'm putting collagen in a bad thing if I'm thinking of it as Hail Hydra. I need to find a better way to think of that.
Yes.
Hydrating. I'm going to go with hydrating because collagen and skin elasticity, and you can't have that without water.
Hydration.
I'm sure.
Probably.
So, and also vitamin C, evidently. And lots of other things that I don't eat.
Wow.
I am all sorts of, on it.
You either need to spend more time in the supplement aisle, or we got to figure out how to train your taste buds to be happier with more variety.
But that would take away from my evil planning.
Oh.
I don't have time to eat healthy. That's my excuse.
Because of the evil plan, right?
Yeah, I have my evil plan,
Right.
and I'm very serious on my evil plan, and it just takes up so much time.
Okay, well, I'd say I'm looking forward to hearing about your evil plan, but that means that we're at the culmination of the evil plan and your villain monologuing, so I don't want to know.
I refuse to monologue.
Okay.
I will not monologue. I will restrain myself from monologuing.
Okay.
I won't be that type of villain, I promise.
I have no good comeback to that.
And on that note, because we've clearly gotten to a level of silliness that can no longer be controlled, we're going to end for today. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.